Hello, everybody, and welcome to an all new episode of the Bravo Bunch. We are back to break down a lot of Bravo. We have been off for the last few weeks, and a lot has happened. We have a lot of new shows and a lot of shows that have wrapped. So, we will break down the endings of Summer House, Real Housewives of Atlanta, and Real Housewives of Dallas. And we will get into Below Deck Sailing Yacht, Beverly Hills, New York, and the New Jersey reunion. So, I am Sam Henson. I am 1/3 of the gays that are always here every Thursday, most Thursdays. Also joining me, as always, is Kristian Robinson. Kristian, how are you doing?
I'm good. In our little hiatus, I started watching Real Housewives of New Jersey from the beginning. And I am
Yes.
on the scene. I can tell because I'm familiar with the meme that I'm about to watch the table flip, and so I'm very excited.
What are your early thoughts on Danielle Staub? An
What?
icon, a
An
legend.
icon. She's a legend. She's a star.
She is
She's a,
legendary.
I
she's a
haven't done any
star.
spoilers yet, so I don't know how long she's around, but I hope she's around for a long time.
Enjoy her while she is around. That's all I'll say.
I mean, you
Also,
might see her again.
you may see her again, and that voice you're hearing there is Josh Mendelson. Josh, how are you doing? How was your time off?
My time off was great, but I can firmly say that I am a fan of Sonya's facelift, unlike Heather Thompson.
It's all one face. That's what Ebony said. All right. So there's a lot of news that's happened the last few weeks. A lot of it is wrapped into the shows that have ended. So we will just include those in the shows we're about to talk about. So first, let's get into the shows that have wrapped in the last few weeks. We'll start with Summer House. Summer House ended, I think, on a really great reunion. Like, I really enjoyed both parts of those reunions. They were just more bad Hannah moments. And I guess, like, not to bury the headline that Hannah has announced since the reunions wrapped up airing that she will not be returning for the next season of the Summer House. Wow. Kristian, I'm going to go to you first. Like, tell me, what are your thoughts on the reunion and your reactions to Hannah leaving?
Yeah, I think first off, the two-part reunion was just amazing. And it just like, to me, they showed up and showed why they deserve a true reunion like they had. And so I'm excited, and I hope that that is a permanent fixture moving forward. In terms of Hannah quitting, I don't think any of us are truly that shocked. It had to be very painful and embarrassing to watch it back. And then at the reunion, the performance was just even worse. So I was just like, I'm happy to see Hannah go at this point.
Josh, do you have thoughts?
I mean, I love someone who everyone hates, but it's just like good TV, like a Ramona, aka Hannah. Like, Hannah definitely is the Ramona of Summer House. Like, everyone hates her, but she's kept coming back, and it's sad to see her go. I think it's not her time to leave yet. I want more drama, and I think Hannah brings the drama. It's like, now all we have to count on now is Lindsay, and maybe now Daniela versus Paige might, there might be more of that, but I'm going to miss her truly on this show because she's good drama.
Yeah, I actually agree with you, Josh. Like, when Hannah announced that she quit, there was like, I don't know if I've ever seen such like jubilance on social media over one person announcing that they're leaving. Like, literally all of collective Bravo, Twitter, Facebook, everywhere was just like jumping for joy that Hannah left. And to me, like yes, she had a terrible season. Like, that's just the truth. Like, she looked like an idiot. She looked like an idiot. She was on the wrong side of almost every single fight. None of her points ever made sense. But I also don't agree that this is her time to go. Like, I felt like there needed to be another chapter to this. Like, and I do see this, that, if Summer House were to stay around, I could see a Hannah coming back eventually. But I think what we're seeing in Rhodey now is, like, once you leave, it's really hard to come back. And I am, at the end of the day, kind of sad that Hannah is leaving because she just gave so much good TV. And at the end of the day, like, I think this season of Summer House is the best, like, overall season that we have covered since we started doing this show. Like, I feel like it's been quick and amazing. Like, there's never been any lag. I felt like everyone brought something. And there was just like grand delusion, which on Hannah's part, which I really enjoyed. I don't know, maybe it will be a better show for it, but I'm kind of bummed that we're seeing our big villain go.
Yeah, I think it just depends who they recast her with. There's a lot of rumors as to like who might be on the show. I don't know if either of you have watched big shot with Bethany, but the most annoying woman on there, her name is Nicole Rose. She is rumored to be replacing Hannah in Summer House. They've also talked about Brielle being on Summer House.
I would live for Brielle. I would live for her. I think she's ready for some more TV. I think she's ready to fucking be like the Kim Zolciak of Summer House.
I don't know. Like, I think that would be like something interesting, but at the same time, like, I really like the idea that like these are a group of friends.
Like,
right? Like, these aren't, you know, children of Bravo celebrities. Like, these are like, I even felt like at times like Sierra being there was like kind of a stretch. Like, she's Luke's former ex from Atlanta. Like, I never really understood how she even got cast on the show in the first place. But I'm sure they have other crazy friends. Like, I was listening to some podcasts and Carl was talking about how they were just like Lindsay, Kyle, and Carl were out like partying one night in the Hamptons, and a producer just like saw them, was like, "You're hot. Like, do you want to make a TV show?" Basically. So like, I do think that there has to be other crazy friends in this group. Like, I want to see that, and I want it to like remain consistent, because I think that's what made it so good. The season was like, it felt real. That's why I think Jersey is so good. And that's why I think Roni is good. Like, it just, these people know each other. And so they don't have to really force things that other shows do. So,
yeah.
I don't know. I love the reunion. Let's give the whole season a rating. I'm going to give this season of Summer House a 4.5 out of 5 pool floaties. What about you, Kristian?
I was also going to say 4.5 out of 5. I often think that like Summer House and the earlier seasons of Vanderpump Rules just like kind of body most housewife seasons. And so I love Summer House, and this was not a disappointment.
How does this wrap, like, how does this compare to the other seasons? Is this like mid Summer House? Is this like top tier Summer House?
Honestly, it's different. I think I mean, as you were kind of mentioning, it's like it's moved past the whole friend dynamic. Even bringing Luke in is kind of a stretch, and so is Sierra. And with the Strawby leaving and then coming back, and like it was very weird. So it's different, but I would probably say it's top 2 seasons of Summer House.
Yeah, I feel that. All right, Josh, what about you? What's your rating?
I'm gonna agree. 4.5. It's iconic. It's not legendary. Legendary status is like Scary Island, season 1 of 2 of Jersey, season 3 of Atlanta. Those are legendary seasons that are like in a top 10 of all time. This was really good and iconic, so I will say 4.5.
Yeah, and I think like another thing that's just so good about Summer House is like they have so many characters that understand the assignment. Like Lindsay, Kyle, Carl, Paige, they all understand the assignment and they're not going anywhere. So I think I'm hopeful for the future, even with some recasting.
Yeah, I feel like I'm excited. They must be like about to start shooting soon if Hannah announced that she's quitting. So like, I feel like we'll probably get some news shortly, and I'm really excited for what's to come. So,
and I'm also curious if it's going to be like this past season of Summer House, where they're all just in a house for 6 weeks, or if it's going to be.
They will. I think they will.
Hope so, because it was a lot. I think the drama was a lot better in that regard.
I just want to say I hope Paige has more airtime next season. I think Paige has more in her. I don't think they showed her as much because of her drama with her boyfriend at the time, but I am hoping that we get more Paige. Maybe it's like a Paige and Carl hookup. Maybe it's Paige and Danielle drama. I need more Paige next season. Maybe Hannah being gone will bring Paige out a little bit more.
I can see that for sure. All right, let's go to Real Houses of Atlanta. We wrapped up the 3-part reunion. I don't know why this had to be 3 parts when the other reunions are 2 parts. This was a 3-part reunion, and it was kind of a dud. That's my impression of the Atlanta reunion. And I don't know what happened this season of Atlanta.
It didn't make it to the dungeon, I'll say that.
It didn't make it to the dungeon. I think the promise of the dungeon, the promise of what we heard preseason, like, I think there was, 1 or 2 great episodes in there. And then the rest was just like a bunch of meandering nothingness. Like, that's how I felt. And I also felt like the cast didn't really click in a way. Like, I don't think they did a great job casting the season. I think the vets are good. And I think you need to cast interesting people around them to make that happen. And I think I walked away from the reunion, especially the finale, just like really down on Drew. Like I don't know. Like I don't see what other people really see in Drew. Maybe, but maybe I'm on an island here. Josh, what are your thoughts on this?
I agree with you. I hope that Drew is a one and done. I hope they don't bring Drew back next season. I think Drew's a waste. Take out Drew, bring back my queen Sheree and Phaedra, and let's have a season. Okay, thank you.
What about you, Kristian?
Again, I think Drew's performance in the reunion was just kind of sad. But what I was living for was Miss Kenya just coming for her neck at every opportunity that she got. Kenya was really the winner of the reunion. She was really the only person that I was paying attention to or caring about her and Portia.
I think Kenya is the best Real Housewives villain I think there ever has been. I don't know of a better one. What do you, Josh?
Sam is the best villain in Housewives history.
But she goes so far that she gets kicked off the show twice. Like I think Kenya knows how to toe the line where she never takes it to a point of no return in the sense that like it gets too dark. Like she'll go really close to that line. We even saw that in the reunion a few times. But I think she always knows how to like pull it back and like still make herself appear like she'll get another contract for next season. I think I've heard that the contracts. I've heard a few conflicting rumors about next season of Atlanta. One rumor is that all the contracts are out for everyone and they may add people. Another rumor that I've heard, which I don't really believe, is that Bravo's unhappy and they're thinking about cutting a few of the vets. I don't really see that. I don't think that's the problem with Atlanta. Like I just think that I don't know. I just don't think that newbie casting was very inspired. And I don't know. Like I don't know what the solution is because I think we're getting to a point now where we have this main group of ladies that have been on the show for a very long time. They know how to do reality television in a very specific way. And then they're casting a lot younger people that don't really have much connection with these other ladies. It was like kind of weird to watch like all them interact a lot. I don't know, but maybe, just maybe, there is hope for next season of Real Housewives of Atlanta. Because one of the big pieces of news that set Twitter ablaze for about 24 hours, like the #1 trending thing in the world, was that Miss Portia, she has found a fiance. And that fiance is Fallon's ex-husband.
Ooh,
Oh my fucking god. Like I actually, when I saw that comment, I don't know if one of you guys sent it to me, I was shook. Like I don't know what in the world. So basically she writes this comment. She says that she has been with this man for a month, that she knows how it looks and that she and Fallon aren't really friends, even though production made her bring Fallon on the show as her friend, and that they're engaged and she has a big rock. And this man is just like a major loser. Like, right? Like, I can't even believe we are at this point. But Kristian, what are your thoughts on this whole Portia?
Just like, Portia girl, what are you doing? And like, she clearly knew that it is as bad as it looks, right? Like, so she's been on a little PR campaign the past couple of weeks about it, but I don't know. I hope that she gets dragged for it at the beginning of next season.
Oh, what Kenya will say, like, I cannot wait for Kenya reading Portia about this. Like, this just gave Kenya so much ammunition against Portia. Like, she has an entire season with the ammunition. Josh, what are your thoughts?
I cannot wait for next season now. It's kind of like my anticipation is similar to that of like season 2 of Jen Shah.
Yep.
I'm so excited for this to see what Kenya will do. I think next season is going to be a good season. Sometimes there's filler seasons of shows that have been on for a long time. We've seen it with OC. We've seen it with New York. We've seen it with Atlanta because they're the big 3 that have been out forever. So my eyes are on Kenya and Portia next season. Let's go.
Yeah, I guess I'm saying like all the things about casting. Like I don't even care who else is there. Like I want to see Portia and Kenya round 22 at this point. Like fight it out, duke it out. Like I think Portia has the Kenya has the high ground this time, which is going to be really interesting. And I think we're going to see, Portia's really become a fan favorite. I think some of that is deserved and some of that is not. And I think we're going to see kind of a return of her being just like truly messy. And I think that's kind of like where she started, and it's where we back are again. Like, think about season 9. And I just I don't know that whoever this man is, it's giving me Josh major Slade vibes from OC, who dated Joe, who dated
Yes,
then went to Gretchen afterwards, dated two different housewives, and
that's a loser.
just
And
like a fucking loser. Like just
then
wanted to be on TV.
it led to one of the best fights of all time, the 80s party fight. Incredible.
Oh, incredible.
And I think one of my favorite things to come out of this whole Portia drama was Nene. Did you all see her reaction to it? She like tweeted out, she was like, "Oh my God, so happy for you, love, love," something like that. And then redacted it and was like, "Oh shit, this is why you need to read, y'all." Kind of weird.
She's like, "Oh, I don't watch," which I don't believe. I believe.
Yeah, I'm like, Ms. Nene, you are messy. And so I this just brought me so much joy, almost as much joy as Jen Shaw going to prison.
Yep. Apparently Portia like unfollowed like Cynthia on social media, and I don't even know what that's about, but I think we are gonna get those four will be back. We'll see who else comes back. I really hope that it's a shorter season. We don't need 3 parts of this reunion. Come on, this was the weakest of the readings we've seen so far. I'm gonna give this season. I'm gonna punt this off to Kristian. You go first, Kristian. What are you gonna? How many people are gonna give this season?
Are you ready? I was gonna give it a 2 out of 5. Because when it was good, but it was just so unnecessarily long that there was just so much downtime. If it was like 5, 7 episodes shorter, I would be much higher on this season of Roa.
Yeah. What about you, Josh?
I'm going to give it a 2.5 because it did have a couple episodes in it that were good. So I'm going to say right in the middle, 2.5.
Yeah, I think I'm going to side with 2.5. I think there were great moments. I think that finale episode with the Christmas party, I thought Drew was just so lame there that ruined that whole thing for me. I thought the reunion was kind of boring, which I think is maybe bringing my opinion down more. But I think there were some great moments, and I think that there was a lot of good there. 2.5. Like this was not a bad season. We've seen more boring seasons before. We've seen things that are just true trash. This wasn't dark. This wasn't like unwatchable. I think there were really great moments. It was kind of light. It was fluffy. And I think I'm going to go with 2.5. That was Atlanta. It'll be back for season 14. We'll be here to break down all casting rumors because I'm sure they'll start filming soon. Okay. Also, let's go to our other show that wrapped. Dallas. Okay. Wow.
What a train wreck.
So, I think that Cameron was like slightly racist. Just my opinion.
Slightly.
Yo, what happened here? Like, I can't even believe that this reunion got to this part. Like, one thing that I can say about the Dallas reunion versus the Atlanta reunion is like, I guess at least something happened in it because nothing would happen in Atlanta. Dallas was like crazy in like a really dark, weird way. Like, Cameron really came out swinging and had all these receipts in this like really dumb suitcase, and it just made her look like a complete idiot. And like, I think Tiffany freaking owned that reunion. Like, she was just giving me like such realness every time she was like, no. There were so many affirmative no's that like I was dying. Like, are you over this? No. Was Brandy welcoming? No. I lived. I don't know. I think obviously Carrie got COVID. She's a mess. Brandy was rough. That part 2 segment with Brandy was probably the roughest 10 minutes of any Bravo I think I have ever seen. They're like, oh, so your mother-in-law died and your daughter was in a terrible car crash. Oh, let's talk about Brian cheating on you. Oh, let's talk about you being racist to Tiffany. Okay, bye. And then you hear her baby screaming in the background. I'm like, God, this is like really dark. But I think the big headline is obviously the Cameron versus Tiffany stuff. Kristian, I'll go to you first. What are your thoughts on everything that happened here?
I think first off, I will say I really enjoyed that Brandy was only addressed once in the first part of the reunion.
Yep.
Loved that for her.
Loved that.
But I think again, right, the Cam stuff was just very sad and disappointing. Like I love that she's so willfully ignorant and kind of like vapid at times, but this is the first time that it's like really crossed the line into problematic. And so I just, as somebody who's been such a huge Cam fan, I'm having a very hard time, especially like if it was just left at the reunion, I'm like, sure. But then when Court had to come out and just be like actively even more racist and his brother, it's just like such a mess. It's such a
Court
mess.
and Chart. Ugh, Chart.
Court
What the
and
hell
Chart.
kind of name is that? Chart. Like what?
Yeah, and
let's talk about that Twitter stuff first, but in a bit. But let me get Josh's your opinion first.
Yeah, it was just hard to watch. It was cringeworthy, just the whole thing.
Yeah.
And Cameron, I've been up and down with throughout the whole series. I think she just sealed her fate at this reunion. I do not think we'll be seeing Cameron back. I think half this cast is probably gonna go. I think we're gonna lose Cameron. We're definitely gonna lose Brandy. We might lose Carrie. I really think and Tiffany, is she leaving? Is she staying? We don't know. I mean, I hope they keep Deandra and Tiffany. And who am I missing? Missing someone. Stephanie. That's who they're gonna keep. Those three, I think. I know we don't like Stephanie and think she's boring, but they'll keep her.
Yeah, I had to say, like, it's hard. That was, I think, the hardest thing to watch. It's one of the hardest things I think I've watched in like a really long time. Is like, I have been a Cameron fan since probably the very beginning. I think she's just on the show part, the non-reunion part. She is a very fun, interesting, dumb character that we get to witness in front of us. She is very wealthy, like true wealth, and like I think she is like a fun Barbie. Like that's I think her role, and I think she's always played it well. And I think today this, the language she was using in the reunion, it was like straight out of Court's Twitter feed. So I feel like Court was like really gassing her up, and like I don't really know how we got to that. I think that's the thing I'm struggling with. I guess I didn't really follow what was happening with Cameron on social media during the season, but I think she got a lot of blowback, obviously, for insinuating on social media that first there were the comments she made about the chicken feet, and then there was an Instagram post basically equating chicken feet to her dog treats, and then she was called out for that. But the thing that kills me is like if she never once brought that up in the reunion, it would have never probably been brought up by Andy, and we would have never been having this conversation. So like I think that's the thing that kills me the most is like it's true like self-inflicted wounds. Like she friendly fired herself. Like it kills. Like that's what really kills me.
And then she friendly fired herself again, where she tried to call Tiffany racist for her own TikTok.
No! What the hell was that?
I was just like, you're really missing the point. Like you're, oh god, it was.
It's so like I had friends call me, and Tiffany's like, really? You had friends call you about that? That one kill.
Your white privileged friends, your friends that are probably all the same. They're all like ghost white. Okay, we'll listen to them. Okay, cool. They don't know shit. It was cringeworthy. Sorry.
It was just like bizarre, and like Cameron is someone who I don't know. I feel like this reunion Cameron, like I said, like I think filming Cameron is a character, and this reunion Cameron is like real Cameron, and that's why I feel like she's just like she won't let things go. She's not funny, she's not bubbly, she's like very serious and stern, and like she couldn't ever admit that she was wrong about anything. She couldn't admit why Tiffany was upset that she equated chicken feet to a fucking dog treat. Like, are you kidding? Like that's just the stupidest thing I've ever heard. She's like, well, it wasn't me, but I'll own it on my social media. Okay. Yeah, I think this cast. Okay, let's get to the social media shit. Like, basically, I don't know. There was just a lot of stupid tweets that came out. Cameron or Tiffany, I think she like tweeted a clown tweet or something, and she's like, "Oh, is this because I'm white, or is this racist against me?" And then there was like some meme about like Voldemort hugging Harry Potter, and she's like, "Oh," and Tiffany was like, "This is how I felt." And it's like glad that you can admit that you were lying then, and you're so fake. And then Court was like, being anti-racist is like he was just like equating it to like Hitler, and it got like really fucking weird. And then Chart came after Tiffany. Tiffany went on social media and kind of quit the show, ? She quit the show. She said, time for a change. She put former cast member and previous cast member in all of her bios. And then I feel like there was like a huge upwell of support for Tiffany, rightfully so. Like I think Tiffany really came across amazing in this reunion. She was
Mhm.
just so clear and so like strong in her point of view, and was obviously in the right with everything. And she got a fucking nosebleed at the end, which was just insane dealing with these white people. And I think she had so much support. Bravo tweeted out that they were in support of Tiffany against these racist attacks. And I think we'll see Tiffany back. She took the former and previous out of all of her bios.
Yeah.
There are some like really reputable Bravo sources that are saying that Tiffany will be coming back. I think the entire show will be built around Tiffany and Deandra. I think that is totally
Which is
a show
dream.
which is a show I really want to see. I think we'll get super diverse people. I think they'll even bring Carrie back now that we have a divorce storyline from her. I think she'll be very different.
I think
she is a Latina woman, so like bring her in. You know, what are your thoughts, Josh?
Stephanie will come back, and I do like Stephanie. I do. I know you guys don't like Stephanie so much. I want Stephanie back. I think she's a necessity. She's that character. Get rid of Brandy, get rid of Cameron, and the four of them. Let's bring in like two people and a friend of the housewives who are gonna bring it. We need like a new Leanne with racism. We need a Leanne.
Yeah.
That's what we need.
And not a friend of like Jen, who is literally cut out of the entire season. Like, what the hell was that about? Don't put anyone on our screen that you're gonna cut out.
That was so bizarre. Retrospectively, it's just
the most bizarre thing I think I've ever seen on a Housewives season.
Why did Leanne have to become a racist? Why? She was such good TV.
Also, not Leanne getting brought into this reunion.
That kills me. I think Leanne. I think similar to Danielle Staub, they just go too far. They have a tendency of just going too far. If this is true that Leanne had someone send the video of Brian making out with some random biddy in Vegas to Brandy's child, like that's vile. Like no child should ever have to see that. And I do believe that Leanne did that. Like when Andy looked at Deandra and was like, "Do you know?" And Deandra's just like, I was like,
but it's not my story to tell.
It's awful, but it's iconic. That is so savage. I love it. I hate her, but I love it. I love it. It's
like savage in a sick way. Like
it is so savage in a sick way, but it's such good television.
Yeah. And you know what? I think like I despite this reunion, I really enjoyed this season. I think there was a really, I think that's the thing about Dallas. I feel like people gave it so much shit. I don't think a lot of people watch Dallas. And I think B, like, so they're not seeing what is on the screen. Because I think there is a lot of great characters. And like, I think it's honestly one of the funniest franchises. Like, I laugh so much at Dallas. I think a season centered around Deandra and Tiffany and bringing on new diverse women in this show, like, that's like a whole new show to me. And that sounds honestly like that could be one of my favorite things ever. So I am like excited that we're wiping the slate. I think it really is wiping the slate. I could even see Stephanie Lee just not want to do it anymore or not renew her contract. Like I could see that happening here. And I honestly would not be upset. Like I think most housewives have a 5-season shelf life. And then they've given everything they could. Unless you are like a Luann or Ramona or someone that is so good and will bring it no matter what. Like what did we learn about Stephanie this season? That she made lockers for some rich white high school in Texas? Come on.
Not the lockers.
Not the lockers. Please don't make me watch another season of lockers. Okay, I think that's everything. I stand Tiffany so much more after this reunion. I really hope it is. I think she is just great television. I think she wants to stay too. I think
it's also just like Real Housewives, like take notes on how to handle adversity at a reunion. Like she is gold. She's such a great person.
Yep, she didn't crack. I feel like she was always in the right, which also helps. And I don't know. This season was a real mixed bag. Obviously not as dark or as depressing as last season. The reunion was getting there, but I think in the end, I don't know. My heart wants to give it a 3.5, but my head says to give it a 3. I will give it a 3 out of 5. What about you, Josh?
I will also give it a 3 out of 5. I thought it was it was really good, but it wasn't the best. It was good though. It was good. So you know what? 3.5. Why not? I'll give it a 3.5.
Yeah. What about you, Kristian?
I was gonna say 3. I mean, it's like middle of the road for me. I mean, there was again a lot of great highlights, but a lot of things that were just kind of like sad to watch in the end, like Carrie's alcoholism, and Cameron's performance at the reunion. But I'm looking forward to what Dallas will be next season.
Yeah, I think, filming in these COVID times, it's tough. Like, there's not a lot you can do. And none of these ladies had a lot of solo footage outside of Tiffany and Deandra. And, like, those two alone are the reason why it's so high. Like, this cast was so top heavy. I think it would have been a 3.5 if I didn't have to watch Brandy every fucking week, if I didn't have to watch, all the crazy shit that happened in the reunion. Endings do make a difference to me. And I feel like I will now think of this season as like Tiffany just being truly mistreated the entire time. And like, I don't want to see, them casting, Housewives of Color and these white casts for the first time. And then they're treated like shit the whole season. Like, that's not fun to watch, especially ones that we root for. So it's like, it should happen to nobody. But even for people like Tiffany, who I really like, we're all on her side. And we have to watch these people, just like people that we loved before, just really ruin their reputation by just like being a complete idiot. And that is like, that's hard. That's a tough pill to swallow. So, okay, let's go. That's Dallas. I feel like it'll be a while before you get more Dallas. I wouldn't be surprised if they go on a little bit of a hiatus, do some major casting down there where they start filming. I think it'll be a better time. And you know what? I think that'll be good for everyone. Okay, let's go to this week's episodes. Below Deck Sailing Yacht. I feel like let's just talk about this most recent episode. I feel like that was where all of the good tea was. Am I right, Kristian, or am I missing anything from the earlier episode?
So I missed the episode, so I want to hear from you guys what happened. So let's go.
Yeah, okay. I think just like prior to this, there's a lot of like mounting drama tension with Allie and Gary and Sydney, but you see it all in this episode. Let's just start here.
Yeah, let's just go. I think like obviously like something that we have been teased over and over and over again on Below Deck is that one day they will not dock correctly. And this was the day. They just trash that dock. The boat is completely scraped up, bumping into the dock. Like, it looks brutal. They're all in bad moods. And I was like, this is why I like Below Deck so much. This is just like real shit. Like, real emotions are coming out of these people. And that was wild. They were shook. Like, the girls were downstairs being like, ooh. And then like all the deck crew was just like running around like, oh my God. And like the boat looked like shit afterwards. And they were like, all right, let's just try to paint it, I guess, before the guests come. I think like this episode was the most below deck I've ever seen. Like, it was everything that Below Deck does, like, turned up. There was docking drama. There was messy guests that got in huge fights. There was food drama. We love food drama. And then there was obviously all the romance elements as well. So, okay, let's go like plot point by plot point, like the characters. Like, let's start with the Danny and Jean-Luc updates. Oh God, this was a messy episode for those two. All right, so apparently Jean-Luc potentially has an STI, and his dick, it hurts. It is pink. It is turning colors, and he goes and he tells Danny like, "Yo, like, my junk hurts," and she is like, I think, just so embarrassed, and she goes and tells everyone on the boat, and then she has like a total breakdown. She's like, I don't want to be here anymore. I want to leave. I can't finish this, whole season out.
Yeah.
It was messy. Like, I don't think she will leave, but she has been pushed to like a true ledge. She's like, what am I doing here? I am screwing this 24-year-old basically, and like giving him an STD on camera. Like, that's just like a mess. Like, and I feel for that girl. Kristian, what are your thoughts about that whole?
I felt really bad at first, but I'm like, bitch, get it together. Like, you are grown. STIs, STDs, whatever, are a part of life. And like, yes. I understand that it isn't definitely embarrassing for this to happen on national television. But like, nobody knows the full context of it or where it came. Like, so I'm just like, just own it and just stay, because like, truly, I think she's the fucking supreme. Like, I want multiple seasons with Danny, and so I would hate to see it cut at this point, or her not return to the show after this season because of this.
Something tells me that at the end of the day, this won't be an STI. Like, I would be shocked if they don't test all of these cast members before they go on camera. Like, I feel like
Right.
every reality show, you do a ton of medical tests, especially one like where you have to be insured on a boat. Like, I would be shocked if they don't do like STI panels before. Maybe they didn't because of COVID. I don't know. Like, that to me is like really surprising. We will table that for next week. Let's talk about the guests because they were just like, oh my god. I swear I have seen this primary before. Kristian, have you seen this primary before? The one that's like, yeah.
I don't
The one
know,
that talks
not to
about
my knowledge.
the one that's like, yeah, titties for Trump. That I was like, oh god, we are in for a complete shit show here.
Yeah,
Like the
Josh, he was
blonde with
wearing
the
a
mom.
MAGA bikini.
Ew, no, not Ew.
And then the other co-primary was like, I don't want to talk about politics. And then she storms off and was just like, who are these people? Are
It's
they
one of those
friends?
Trumpers, one of the ones who don't admit she's a Trumper, but is a Trumper.
Yeah. Okay. The one blonde with their mom, I swear I have seen her on television before from where I have no idea. But I remember those two messy gays earlier this season. I feel like at first I was like, wait, why are these Trumpers on this boat? But then I remembered we're in COVID. No Americans are going out to vacation unless they are gross Trumpers.
Mhm.
So they get messy. They have a huge, like the guests have a huge fight at the end, which is like funny because like the editors weren't even really giving it much time. Like they were just like cutting back and forth, and they were like, "You don't support me. You are a bitch." Like all these things. I was just like, "Oh my god, this is like truly off the
It was
wall."
unhinged. It was like truly unhinged.
I cannot wait to watch this. I'm watching this tonight.
It was killing me because like you could tell that they thought they were gonna be like all of the episode, and like they're literally like cut back to them fighting and then like go back to like the main story of whatever is happening with the crew. But like that was just like literally unhinged behavior. Let's get to, I guess, the Gary, Sydney, Ali of it all. Last episode, or maybe it was 2 episodes before, Sydney admitted that she slept with Gary. And she was like, well, my mom told me not to sleep with someone before the season. And, well, did that on the first week. And all the girls were like, what? And then Allie's like, I feel so stupid. I'm like now it all makes sense. Like, why Sydney's being so crazy to me. And I have no idea where this is going to end. I predict, though, they will not hook up before the end of the season.
I agree, but I'm also kind of like, grow the fuck up. Like, what does it matter what they did? And how did you not come to the conclusion that they fucked when they slept in the same bed? Like, and they just both appeared out of that room and there was fucking dust handprints in places there shouldn't have been dust handprints. Like,
but I don't think Danny told anyone that. I don't think she told Allie.
Okay, Danny's a real one then.
She is a real one. She is. She did not spill that tea, which is like huge tea. Like I think Danny, all hail. I don't know. Like if I were Allie, I wouldn't be pissed at Sydney, but maybe she's pissed at Gary that Gary didn't tell her. Yeah. I think that's probably more of what it is, or I don't know. Maybe we're like in the middle of like a 2000s reality TV fight where it's just.
But like maybe I'm just like too gay for this, but I'm like,
yeah,
people fuck all the time.
Yeah.
And it doesn't change my relationship to them.
Oh!
You know? Like, I don't know. It just seemed like such a high school problem.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's, I think, the thing that kills me. It's like, this is why I would love to see at least put two gays onto one of these boats. They will fuck at this rate. Like, right. I think like these relationships are so like middle school, which is like fun because like these are grown adults acting like complete idiots. But then also I'm like, I don't even understand what they're talking about anymore. I have to say, like Captain Glenn, he had some really great moments this episode. He was like really angry, and then he like went down to his room and was like stripping all his clothes off and was like, "Urgh," and then he like came back out and was a great leader and like
Captain Glenn fan club.
We are Captain Glenn. I stand that man. He is just.
Like, I will say he was so good under pressure, and like he definitely got mad, but it was never to a point where I was like, "Oh, he's getting wild." Like he was very good when he crashed the boat.
Yep. This was a great episode. Like this is the best. I think one of the best Blood Egg episodes I've ever seen. Period. Like I'm gonna give this episode. I will give it a 5 out of 5. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
Playing my flag. I'm giving it a 5 out of 5. You agree with that, Kristian?
I'm definitely going to give it a 5 out of 5, especially with the mounting drama that's still going on between Daisy and Natasha. Like, obsessed. I'm just fully obsessed. And I've been so low on Below Deck Sailing Yacht. And this just reminded me why I love Below Deck.
I love this season. I will say that. I think the season's great. I've been a fan of it since beginning. Maybe it's the first, because it's the first full Below Deck season I watched in the beginning. But I love Natasha. I think Natasha is legendary, honey, and I think she needs to come back, go on Top Chef, do it up. I love her.
Mm-hmm.
So.
She had a major messy this week. She did.
But I love that her mess ups are not really her food. It's just her fucking brain. Like she's
she told the guests it's gonna be 5 courses, and then she was like, "Oh, they're too drunk. I'm just gonna make it 3 courses." And then all the guests are like, "Wait, what? Why are we getting served dessert right now?" And then they're like, "We're still hungry after dessert." And she's like, "Oh shit!" And then she goes and makes a whole steak for them and all that. That was crazy.
I also love Daisy, who talks like she's been smoking a carton a day for years.
I mean, honestly, I think that's what she does smoke. She's always smoking.
Yeah, this whole cast is big smokers, which is
international people are very big smokers, especially the
kind of weird to see. Okay, that's Below Deck. Josh, you got to catch up. Tell us your thoughts next week. Let's go to New York City. Woo! Season 13. I can't believe we haven't talked since season 13's been on. I think episode 3 was really good. I'm gonna put that out there. I think I really liked episode 3. I think season 13 first 2 episodes were a little slow. I don't know why there's only 5 main ladies. I don't understand this trend. Some of our favorite seasons have the most cast members on it. I don't get why we're like, oh, let's put 5. And with Ramona, Sonia, Luann, they feel like one. So it's okay, it's one person with 2 with Leah and Ebony. That to me, I don't really get. Whatever. Okay, how do we want to talk about this? Is there anything about the first 2 episodes that you're dying to talk about?
Yes.
Okay.
I think Ebony's entrance, first off, I fuck with her pretty hard. I love her vibe. I love how she's very unapologetically Black and pretty just unafraid to not beat around the bush, she's ready to just dive into these conversations directly. But I think the thing that stuck out to me most, I literally watched it 3 or 4 times because I was both rolling and also mortified, was when Ebony walked into Sonia's house. And the first thing Sonia does was I'm just trying to be PC. But if you notice, I've got white fish, I've got black fish, I've got yellow fish. And without missing a beat, Miss Ebony was and you've got big fish and little fish, body diversity too. It was just so quick and so witty. And you could tell that Ebony had caught on oh, the bitch is problematic. And I'm just going to roll with it and make her think that she's in on the joke. And it was just wild. I was oh, wow, Sonia's truly out of touch with reality, which we see more in episodes 2 and 3. But she's fucking psycho.
When has she not been? Let's go to Sonia's toaster oven, all these are random things. Sonia is off her rocker.
I'm of 2 minds about Sonia this season. That goldfish moment, that just truly killed me. I was this is Roni. This is classic Roni to me. Just the most unhinged thing I couldn't have thought of those words put together if you gave me a million years. Yeah. But Sonia is able to, her first thing she says to Ebony, I am why is Sonia's storyline that she's upset about her divorce again? Haven't we seen that a million times by now?
Right.
Why is it that she is upset about her divorce? She cheated on him and he left her. That's what happened. She didn't just leave. Okay. Yes, that's Sonia. We're gonna get to way more Sonia. I also really like Ebony from what I've seen so far. I think she's a much better fit than Leah is with the group. My one thing that I will be looking out for that is with Ebony is Ebony someone that can really let loose? Ebony is super media trained, obviously. Mm-hmm. She's a former, talk person. She knows a camera. She seems very guarded. But one thing I will always give New York credit for is like I think we've seen people in the past come on and they're really stiff and they seem really serious, and then by the end of the season they're having a full breakdown. And so you know what? I'll give I'll wait. I've really liked what I've seen so far. Before I think her energy just matches the group way more than Leah's, who I'm, just to be clear, very down on this season. And let's talk about the third episode, because I think there's a lot. Everything kind of cultivated in this third episode that 1 and 2 build up to 3.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get to it. They're in the Hamptons. There were like 2 big fights. There was Leah and the blood plasma with Ramona, and then Sonia having a complete breakdown by the end about Garth and the shirts. So like Sonia was killing. I was dying of laughter.
It was incredible.
Yeah.
A Sonya fight, though, like, isn't a real fight. Like, it's pure comical. Like,
it's pure comedy. Like the Garth, she's like, "Fuck Garth!" Like,
wasted. She's literally passing out drunk. But like, it was cute when Dorinda was on the show. But now that there's no Dorinda, and we have 2 sober girls on the show, basically, not looking so cute for Sonya right now.
And like, I know this makes me a bad person for saying this, but I don't want to see someone like Leah policing Luann about her drinking all season. I don't want to see it. Sorry.
100%.
Like, I think that's boring and like judgmental, and I just don't want to see it. Like, that's not why I watch these ladies. Sorry. Ramona, sorry. I'm sorry. Okay.
There was this tweet that was like, getting to see Luann smoking a cigarette on my TV screen, nature truly is healing. Like
that was incredible. Okay, so let's get to the first fight. They get to the winery, and Leah won't let go. She's like, Ramona, you did not get a blood plasma what is it? Donation?
Yeah.
And what killed me was like Sonia was like, "Oh, she did not." Like the first second Leah brought it up, like everyone knows that Ramona did not get this blood plasma thing, and Ramona just will not admit to it. She's like, "Oh, I got tested. I got some blood taken from me," like, which is totally different. Okay, like Ramona was lying. She was being an idiot, and she's like, "It was in the press." The thing that kills me about Leah is she won't ever let it go. What does she want? She's not getting a confession from Ramona. She just needs to move on. Everyone at that table knows that she's right, and she won't let it go.
And like, we as the viewer know that she's right. So it's like, just drop it, because now you look desperate and weird that this conversation has gone on for so long.
Yes. And then she's like, when Ramona leaves, she's like, "You guys didn't back me up at the table." And it's just like, everyone's like, "Yo, chill. Like, we all agree with you. What is your problem?" Basically. And I'm just like, girl. Okay, Josh, what were your thoughts about the whole Leah Ramona?
It was just a matter of time that someone was going to call out Ramona again, because Ramona just lives to be called out, because she does it. She spews shit out of her mouth that is like maybe the truth like 5% of the time, and doesn't own it. She lies through her teeth and doesn't own her shit. So it was just a matter of time, and I kind of was living for it.
I mean, it was fun to see a fight, our first like big fight of the season. I guess you'd call that big, but I mean, I found more joy and humor. And when Ramona stormed off and Luann followed her, and she's like, "I'm having diarrhea." What? Like, basically. Like, that was 10 times more entertaining than whatever Leah thought she was doing, trying to catch Ramona in a lie. As if that matters.
Not a fan of Leah. You don't like her, do you?
I think Leah is...
You're Brandy this season.
I think Leah is, and always has been, slightly overrated. Like, I think she came in last season and was good, but people were like, she is the savior of this franchise. Like, she's the best thing that's ever happened to Real Housewives. And like, I don't agree with that. Like, I actually, at the end of the day, don't think her energy matches the rest of the group in a way where now there's only 5 of them. It's like even more obvious. Like, there's less room to hide. And like, I just don't see, like, she's like policing the drinking. She's like, is she gonna, have some fun meltdowns? I don't know. Like, is she just gonna be like a judgmental Nancy? And then I have to say, it kind of rubbed me the wrong way with how she is like really coming for, hey, Mama Heather, and like is like gaslighting the group to like really come like rip her head off when she comes to the Hamptons next episode.
She's
That's my
so
impression.
pressed about it. And I'm like,
Over
why?
what?
You've apparently never met her, don't have any sort of feelings about her.
They
So,
met
like,
for
why are you
10 minutes at Dorinda's place.
I'm just like a very big like, Leah, she was here before you. She was here for longer than you. Like, let's calm it down. Like, she goes back further with these three than you do. So, like, know your place in all of this.
She has way more iconic moments than you do, Miss Leah. So watch yourself. And I think, she did Heather say stupid shit in the press. Yeah, and I think that's the problem with letting people go and then bringing them back is that when people are let go, they don't think they will potentially come back. And so they'll say things about their time on the show that they wouldn't have said otherwise, not thinking that those comments would come back to hurt them on a reality TV show. So and apparently these were comments that were made a while ago. Like I think Leah made it seem like, oh, Heather was just recently shit talking Luann about her drugs, and so Luann was like, oh, I just had lunch with her. Why is she being mad at me? Like, whereas I think Leah said those were comments she made a few years ago, and like, I don't know, like, just like, what is the point of this? And I think
it seems very desperate to have a storyline or like a plot line here.
I think Leah says at one point, she's like, well, she did these to the other ladies. Like, what will she do to me? Like, what do you mean?
It's like nothing. You're nobody to her. Like, literally.
Yes. Like, I think what happened after, she's talked way more shit about Leah afterwards because of what's about to go down. So,
right.
I don't know. Josh, do you have any final thoughts about the Heather Leah stuff going on right now?
I mean, it kind of surprises me because Heather Thompson that I know wouldn't have said this stuff. It just doesn't make sense to me. Maybe Heather's changed since 5 years ago when she was on the show. But when she was
I think she would have said those things.
Are you like saying that Luann is like doing drugs? I mean,
that's total. I mean, Heather is like Bethany Light. Like she has no filter and is like kind of foul when it comes to the comments that she makes about people.
Yes. And that comment was in reference to when they were on that vacation, and Luann was like, "Don't be all uncool." And when she was like hooking up with that man the night before, she said she brought hard drugs to that vacation.
Well, like
that was all. Which is like, I'm sure, and Luann didn't deny it. She was just like, that bitch. Like, obviously she was doing that stuff. And so I think she was just, again, she never thought she'd come back to the show. It was years afterwards. And she was like, yeah, that's what happened. And then she gets brought back into the show. And for some reason, Leah, this sophomore, housewife, is like really pressed and wants to get all these comments back up on the show again. I don't get it.
So maybe being baited a little bit.
Yeah. And I think, now watching this back, I'm like, oh shit. Like I thought Heather was I had heard all these rumors about what happened with Heather this season. I thought she was going to be saying all this stuff on camera, but like, this was all comments that were made a long time ago. And I'm like, that to me is boring. Like the best thing about Roni is that they have these insane fights and they move on. This is like Beverly Hills stuff. Like this is like Lisa Vanderpump bringing dumb shit from years back to try to cancel someone. That's my opinion. And like, I'm not enjoying it. And like, Leah has time to bring myself back over, but like I am thumbs down on her right now. That's my thoughts.
Period.
Point blank and the period.
Okay, let's get to the Sonia Morgan of it all real quick. Jesus. I don't know what was happening, and I think Sonia is a lightweight. I think Ebony kind of made a comment in that sense, being like, I don't know how she got this drunk. Like we all drank the same amount, and Sonia's like plastered by the time we get to the shopping. And like, granted, I loved what I saw, right? Like when Sonia was fucked up and they like got the same matching black top, that killed me. I don't know why I found that so funny, but I thought that was like the funniest thing I've ever seen. And then they get to dinner and she's like, forget about Garth. Luann calls Garth, and that just sets her off. Sonia is FaceTiming the head of diversity at JP Morgan and Chase, and it's just like, what is going on? Ramona's like, you need to stop it. And is like taking her drink from her. And then I guess Ramona brings up Wells Fargo, and then that sets Sonia off. Josh, I'll go to you. What were your reactions to all of this?
Such a mess. I was living. Again, anytime Sonia gets into a fight, it's a joke. Like, Okay, my favorite all-time random fighting with Sonia was season 3 with like her and Alex for a second when she kicked Alex out of her house randomly, and then was she the one that got in the fight? No, that was someone else. But her kicking Alex out randomly was just like, I'm in a bad mood. Get out of my house! Like, love this because she just gets mad for like no reason and like
Right.
fine. Then she's drunk off partying and on trips with Ramona.
I'm just obsessed that we truly got another I raised millions for AIDS awareness. I raised millions for the LGBT. Like, again, we're going down it again. And it was just as good the second time. I enjoyed it.
It was when that really
yes, the LGBT march. Yeah.
When that like old man was like hitting on her at the winery and called her really hot. I was just like, oh, I love this bitch. And you know what?
She has so many good lines. Like even when she was talking to the guy on the phone, and she was like, "We need to protect the poor because the stocks are going up. The poor are getting poorer, and the homeless are getting homelesser." I was like, Mama, just keep going. I want a Sonia Morgan quote book.
I know, she is so good. And like the sad thing is, like, I feel bad for her. Like, I think she's in a really dark place. Like, I actually think that house makes her physically ill being in that house.
Yeah.
And so like I just want her to lower the price, sell it. I don't know why she hasn't done it yet. Must be some financial reason. But yeah, like I love this episode of Rooney. I'll give it a 4 out of 5. What are your thoughts on this?
That's also what I was going to say, a 4 out of 5. It was very good. And this episode 3 specifically was very reminiscent of like peak Rooney to me. So 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5. I agree.
Awesome. Let's go to the premiere of Beverly Hills. I love that we started with Dorit saying, "Guys." That's how it started. That was the opening line of the season, just Dorit yelling "guys" into our ears. And I have to say, like, they gave me nothing, but I love these ladies. I don't know why I do, but I do. Like, I can watch, it's like paint peeling at times, and I still love it. And I think, like, this to me is one of my favorite, like, I think this cast is really good. Like, there are some really good, like, I don't really know if there's like a big weak point on this cast. I think they did a really great job. Denise was bi. Teddy was boring. I think Crystal looks like she's going to be great. Sutton, promoting Sutton. Kathy Hilton. I know this bitch is going to kill me this season.
Kathy Hilton is on our screens for the first time in 11
No, we have speculated about this for so long. Will Kathy Hilton ever join Beverly Hills? It has finally come. She mistook Garcelle for Kyle today.
Iconic behavior. Iconic behavior.
Guys, speaking of Kyle.
Yes.
Nose, honey. That looks like a different Kyle.
What are your thoughts? Nose job. Apparently she got a broke filming Halloween. And then she just said, "Oh, well, let me get some of the other things fixed in the area." I don't know. The production quality of Beverly Hills, it's like you cannot top it. Like, they put so much effort into the looks, into the production, into the music, into the transitions. Like, it's all just so, like, I wish they gave this care into all the shows, but at the same time, like, it makes Beverly Hills feel really special. And I think we're going to get a good season here. Like, I'm kind of optimistic about where it's going to go. And if it's not, like, I have a lot of ladies here that I just like watching. What are your thoughts, Kristian?
I am upset. Like, from the moment, it was pretty early in the episode where Kyle was in her confessional and she was like, "With all that's going on in the world, do you really think that I would be pressed about somebody unfollowing me on Instagram?" Because I am, bitch. Like,
I am.
Like, it was just, I just like love these women. I literally, as you were saying, could watch them do anything and be content about it. I do find it a little painful to be watching Erica in the current moment because I'm like, oh, it's only a matter of time. And we're talking about money and glam and outfits and walking through the hallowed halls of your beautiful large home. Like that, I'm like, ooh, she's going to fall, and she's going to fall pretty hard this season. But other than that, I'm obsessed.
Josh.
It looks like season 10 is an episode of Court TV, everybody, because everything that is happening this season is about to be used against Eric and Jane, okay? That was messy. Her, like, diamond necklace and all these, like, all her money. I'm like, girl, oh, God, that's hard to watch because you're probably going to prison.
There was a lot of foreshadowing about what with Erica. Like,
Prison Henny.
She was talking at the end of the episode, being like, I just didn't want to wake up in the morning. Like, okay, I think she knows shit's about to really go down, even in the moment. And then in confessional, obviously that's afterwards. Kyle tried to make a confessional seem like it wasn't. She was being super shady. She was like, I don't really think about age gaps. Just look at Erica and Tom. They're so perfect together. Girl, we know that's filmed much later. So
she's about to be waking up in the morning, thinking so many things that things just start to get better.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that in a little bit. The taglines are out. We'll wait for next week because they didn't air on this week. So let's just we'll talk about it. We'll table that for next week. Okay, what else? Okay, I am very positive about Garcelle overall, but I have to say this. I do not care anymore about the Denise drama. Does anyone feel the same way?
Again, Denise, everybody was fine when Denise left. We were all happy that it was closed off. It was what it was. We got some really great moments with Rinna. I think it's time to drop it. And it was so weird to me that she came back so strong about it, especially because they just truly seemed like they just hadn't spoken, and it just could have just been a moot point at this point.
Yeah, I think that is one thing, I guess, not positive about COVID, but I think truly since filming, nothing has happened. None of these women have really spoken. There has been a real pause on any kind of development. So we're not oh, here's what's happened since. We're literally picking up from the reunion, which in some ways is exciting. And in some ways it's okay, let's get to new stuff. I actually don't care about Denise. I don't care that you feel strong that she's your friend. And Sutton kind of buried Denise, I feel in the story when she was oh, well, I reached out to Denise and she didn't respond. Garcelle's oh, really? Okay, that's that. Let's see. What else is there to hit on? Sutton is renting out Kyle's old home, $20,000 down from $25,000 a month. Rinna's wig. That was not it. That was not it.
I always love Rinna, though. I'm a big Rinna fan. She might piss everyone off. She might do stupid shit. Rinna's always holds a permanent spot in my top 5 housewives of all time. Rinna brings the drama and knows what she's doing. So go.
Yeah, Rinna. I do love Rinna too, and it's against my better judgment. But I think I just see Rinna as someone who's not a real person. Rinna to me is just a true character. She's playing a part, and I feel I feel you either see that or you don't, and you're pissed at her. But I also don't think she even really cares how she's perceived. She's just playing the part, and she's well, whatever. And I think it makes it to where she doesn't really care if other people are upset with her on the show. And I'm excited to see where this goes. I think we're heading towards a Garcelle Rinna big divide this season, and I don't know if anyone's really come for Rinna that way. Maybe LVP, but no one's ever been successful with trying to attack Rinna. And I think we got some good competition. I want to see Rinna's feet held to the fire a little bit more. We have Crystal. She's our new housewife. She is married to the man that directed The Lion King,
which was very casual dropping of that. That he's huge.
Yeah,
he's
that's
so
a big
important in media.
Yeah, and they're rich, rich, and that killed me when. Okay, the producers themselves were being so shady towards Dorit in that one Crystal confessional. We have heard rumors for a long time that Dorit's money is fake. That stupid car that she was driving, that she rented that for the episode. That's not hers. None of that. She rents that house. None of that. She's never owned anything. She doesn't have money. That's just the truth about Dorit.
I didn't know that.
Oh, and PK owes $10 million. PK owes millions of dollars, which is why none of the everything's in Dorit's name. They're all kind of Dorit to me is true Moira from Schitt's Creek energy. That's the energy she gives off.
Yes, that big British accent.
Yes. So that's how you have to look at her. And I loved when they were like, Crystal was like, yeah, if we don't know you, then maybe you're not really worth knowing in this town. Like, do you know Dorit? And she's like, no. And I think that was so shady. The producers knew exactly what they were doing because I think they know exactly what's going on too. Okay, what else from this episode? Is there anything?
We had more fish drama.
More fish drama, of course. Garcelle said the speckled one, the cool one, that's Dorit. The plain goldfish, that's Kyle because she's plain and boring.
Ooh,
a little spicy. That's a little fun. I do think Kyle and Garcelle are going to smooth things over this season.
Yeah.
I think that's going to happen. We've heard rumors it's going to happen. Like Garcelle and Rinna was over a larger fight that was about another person. The Garcelle and Kyle drama, I didn't even understand why that was drama in the first place. Garcelle's like, you don't pay attention to me. Like, what? I think she was a little reaching there. I think the reunion drama, Kyle came out swinging against her. And was probably true. And
for what?
Yeah, for what? I think she's like, well, if you're gonna like make me out to be the villain, then I'm gonna actually take a hit at you. Okay, so we'll see where that goes. Kathy, just love that woman. Sutton is gonna be a mess this season.
This is Sutton's season. Honestly, this
is Sutton's season, and I have full faith in her to deliver just something truly insane.
I think this is going to be the tragic fall of Erica Jane. I think this will end up being Erica's last season. I think so.
And it's really hard to imagine a world where she'll be allowed to return. So I think we'll see everyone that's promoting the show is like, you'll be shocked at what she reveals. I'm sure we won't be shocked at what she reveals, but I'm interested to see her show up because apparently she showed up every day to film, even through all this stuff. So, okay. That was a fun episode. I'll give it a 3 out of 5. I love seeing these ladies. I'm excited for more. What are your thoughts there?
I was gonna say 3.5 out of 5. I was having fun with it, and I just am living for Crystal, so I'm up on it.
Josh,
I will also say a 3.5. 3 is a little too low for it. I think it was good. It was one of the best things.
Okay, I'll give it a 3.5. I was happy to see them back, even though nothing really happened. Let's go to Jersey. Let's wrap up this episode with Jersey. Let's just jump to the reunion because I feel like they cover so much of what happened in the part 1 of the reunion. Guys, this reunion, I was texting you guys when I was watching this last night. Holy moly. I felt like this was like a really good reunion. Like everything that Dallas was doing wrong, Jersey got right. And I felt like there was interesting moments. There were peaks and valleys. I gasped at moments. I said, oh! And then I laughed. I cried too. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's break it all down. I'll start with you, Kristian. What were your thoughts on the reunion part 1 of Jersey?
Yeah, I think this was my first time where I was like, because this is again my first full season of Jersey. I'm like, oh, the relationships run a lot deeper than my understanding goes because I don't have the back history of it. But I thought it was really good. I have always been down on Jen. Y'all have heard me talk mad shit about Jen. And so I was excited to see people come for her. And I am just kind of in love with Margaret. So I was having fun. Oh, are we going to fight?
I think we're going to fight because I thought that Jen had a really good reunion. Like I felt that Jen is one of those characters that is a true wild card, and she is kind of Kenya-esque where she will give low blows that don't ever really cross that line. And I felt like she was literally fighting like 3 people at one time, and she was like owning it. Like she was she lock and loaded. She had a smile on her face. And I felt like she was fighting Melissa. She was fighting Margaret. I love Margaret, by the way. I love Margaret, but like she was winning. I felt like she came out really like looking victorious. Not a winner because like they're all fighting dirty, but like I feel like she came out looking better than all the others did. Am I wrong here?
Yeah. No. I think she definitely came out looking good. I think just she had this comment when Andy basically asked Margaret about her story in relevance to the Me Too movement, and Jen decided that would be the time to make a snide comment. I was like, if you would have just saved this for like 5 minutes later, you would have been great because like she was right. It's just the timing was kind of weird for me, but yeah, no, she was fending him off from all sides, so it was impressive, and she looked great. She looked so good.
That's the problem with Jen now. And I like Jen. I love Jen. I think more fans actually love Jen now than Melissa because, you know, there's been this whole social media Melissa fight. More people are on Jen's side, including myself, because Jen is genuine. I don't think Jen is forcing shit. Everything Jen is doing is Jen. It's real. She's showing her real life on television. Melissa's making up storylines. We've been saying it all season. But
we've said it for a long time, too.
We've been saying it for a while. But my problem with Jen is her timing, man. It's like, if she does it like 10 minutes later, it would be perfect. But she has to like, she almost like has to just throw it out there just at the wrong time. And it doesn't execute well. She doesn't execute.
Well, I will say with like the whole marriage stuff, I think Jen came out on top. What I will say is I still do agree that I think that she's throwing her mom under the bus this season on the show. Like I think the way that she handled it and the way she talked about it was just like very, I would argue that it's like inappropriate and insensitive, just like totally insensitive to the trauma that her mom has endured, right? And so I just thought it was very sus. Like, and I get that the culture was different back then, but I'm like, your understanding of it should be better now. So like at least have some level of empathy for your mom rather than this like very cold and like distant sympathy that she kept giving her on the show.
Yeah, I agree and disagree, not on any of your points, Kristian, but like I think, you know, when I think about things that aren't for reality television that should be left off cameras, like when we talk about Drew and her child, like when anything involves a child, like sometimes I think that can cross a line. I think Jen crossed many lines this season, but I'm also not terribly upset that I watched it on my television, if that makes any sense. And Jen obviously threw her mom under the bus. Yeah. And like, that's kind of insane. And like, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know, like at times I thought it was good television. I know that's like really bad to say, but I thought that there were times where I was like, okay, this is like really entertaining and really wild. Like what?
Yeah, and it didn't go on for as long as Drew's did, which was like Jen's mom really got like one episode, right, where they like truly focused on it and unpacked it. Whereas like Drew just kept revisiting it the entire season, which made it uncomfortable to watch.
You guys,
go ahead.
You have to throw something in randomly, but I did have a crying moment. Like, this is really cute with Teresa's new man. I'm so happy for her. And like,
I don't agree.
For her, I love him for her. I think they're perfect. I really do. I'm happy for her. I am.
There is something off with that man.
No, he's not going to be like a Bronx, is he? He can't be a Bronx.
He is straight out of Central Casting. There is so much Botox in that face. And look, I'm all for whatever you want to do. But there is something in me that says this man wants attention. And you know what? I felt like Joe Gorga was on my side there too, because I think Andy asked, like, oh, do you like Teresa's boyfriend? And I feel like before he was like, oh my God, I love him. And he was like, yeah, I like him. I feel like there's something happening behind the scenes that we don't know about going on. I think Louis is going to be the major point of drama next season on Jersey.
Oh, they're setting it up. No!
And it's like, okay, Dolores' son is working for him. Like, that's kind of like, that scares me. It sounds shady a little bit. Like, I will say, I got emotional when the no package came on again. I was like, oh my God, this keeps getting me emotional. And like, I went to jail. Joe went to jail. My mom died. My dad died. Like, can I get a break? And I was like, again, I think this season of Jersey, it was shorter, and I think that really benefits. It's like there's just so much real drama going on here. Like, just it's so real and raw, and like it feels like at times we should be watching what we're seeing, but like we also love what we're watching, and like I've really enjoyed this season. I think this is the strongest COVID season of Housewives we've seen, and 100%. Like this season, like even Jennifer, like she was throwing jabs at Margaret, being like, I know Margaret said that. That sounded exactly like Margaret when she was like talking. They're apparently talking to the lake house, and she's like, Jen, my husband's a plumber. We know that Joe doesn't pay. You know, like that sounded the way that Jen said that. It was like that sounds exactly like something Margaret would say. Like the way she even worded it to a T. I believe it. I believe it. Do you guys believe it?
I believe it.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean,
I also
apparently she told
got-
Teresa. She told Teresa that night.
Uh,
So, whew.
I just, it makes me sad because I want Teresa to be happy.
You know what? I think she'll be happy. Like, I think she has 3 really great girls. Like, her girls are, they are some of my all-time favorite Bravo kids. Like, I live for Gia. I live for that girl. I live for that girl. So, okay. That reunion was crazy. Is there anything else we should talk about? I feel like they saved the Jackie and Teresa stuff. Apparently, Margaret originated the rumor. I don't know if she originated it, but I think it started at her house. That's more coming next week. Anything else that we want to talk about with Jersey? No. Okay, I'm gonna give this episode 4.5 out of 5. What about you, Kristian?
I honestly was gonna give it a 5 out of 5. It's everything that I want in a reunion.
I'm gonna give it 5 out of 5. Okay, I'm
I
gonna give it 5 out of 5.
with y'all and 5s across the board. Let's go.
Like, this is my first Jersey reunion, so I truly didn't know what to expect, and I was just living the entire from start to finish.
What more can you ask for from a reunion? Really, what more can you ask for? You know, that was just everything. It was everything. All right, let's get to our tops and bottoms. Let's run through it really quickly. I'll go first. My bottoms are obviously Cameron, sad face. Cameron, just really nothing else needs to be said there. Cameron, I'm leaving really negatively towards Drew this season. Drew is in my bottom. Hannah leaving. I'm putting Hannah in my bottom because she is leaving. I think that's kind of a weak move, and I think that she didn't face the music, and I'm kind of bummed about that. And I'll just throw Brandy in my bottom for one final time because I think this is the last time we probably will ever have to really talk about her. But girl bye. Tops of the week. Tiffany, she owned that reunion. She will be the center star of Dallas next season, and she 100% earned it.
Mm-hmm.
I am gonna give top to Captain Glenn for really handling the crash well. And for Jennifer, I think she is a hot mess, but she brought the tea to their reunion. I'm just gonna put that out there. Josh,
my top this week is going to be Lindsay because she finally got her sandwich.
Period.
Can I just say how many? I can't even say it. We're good. Okay. How many sandwiches have you made for me? I love Lindsay. I do. I always love her. She's in my top. Jennifer's in my top. The Jersey cast is in my top. They brought a really good reunion this week. They're all the top. We're gonna put Tiffany in the top. We're gonna put what's the new girl on Beverly Hills name?
Crystal,
she's in the top. She gave a great first episode. Loved it. That's for tops. I guess John Luke's penis apparently is in the top as well. Bottoms this week are going to be Cameron because she's racist, Brandy because she's racist.
We love to see it.
The entire OC cast still because OC needs a redux. Same with Dallas. No. I think I'm missing one. Ramona is going to be in the bottom for me every week because it's Ramona. So Ramona's in the bottom. Leah's in the bottom.
I forgot to put Leah in my bottom.
Definitely in the bottom. And basically the entire season of Real Houses of Atlanta is in the bottom too. So let's go.
Kristian.
I was going to put Kenya in my top, really, because she was just serving all reunion. Loved that. And clearly, Tiffany just bodied Bravo with this entire reunion. And I'm really high on both Crystal and Ebony. So they're all in my top. My bottom is definitely Leah. I'm over it. I don't get it. I'm tired of the bit. And then I'm also going to, of course, put Cam and Brandy in the bottom. Bye-bye. Hope I don't see them again.
Yep. Well, guys, we've like gone through 3 whole seasons of television. I can't even believe that. Next week we'll like break down more in detail. Blodeck, Sailing Yacht, Roni, Beverly Hills, and Jersey's ending. I can't even believe Jersey's ending. I think Potomac is coming soon, and we will be back to break it down next week. So until then, I'll see you guys later. Bye.
Bye, guys.